So listen, I have been living in a vehicle of some sorts for 2.5 years. What? 2.5 years? I can't even. Anyway, the two questions I get asked the most is, has it changed you in any way? And do I have any regrets? The biggest thing I've learned is that I'm actually more weird than I thought I was. Anyway, let's talk about this. 2.5 years ago, I moved into my Jetta, my Volkswagen Jetta. Yeah, it was small. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought because I moved into my car that I was going to be magically transformed into this adventurous, traveling, sunset chasing kind of person. And honestly, instead, I became the, oh my gosh, I found a parking lot that has a flat surface kind of person. Before I moved into a vehicle, I didn't really have any hobbies per se, but I was really focused on, how I looked. I had hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of makeup, fake eyelashes, hair extensions. I loved shopping for clothes. It was all that kind of stuff. Superficial, whatever, however kind of stuff. Now my hobbies include finding Wi-Fi, waving at random drivers that cut me off because they absolutely did not see me at all, even though I'm like right here. And really learning to appreciate the weather app. Really learning to appreciate the weather app. I'm reading. I'm studying my Bible, and I'm going for walks and really appreciating nature. Like really, really appreciating the beauty. And even on cold, dreary days, there's still so much beauty to be had. This is who I am now, and you know what? I kind of like it. One of the biggest things I've learned about myself is that I'm resilient, and I've talked about this before, and I don't mean the kind of resilient that you get through tough situations, because oh my goodness, like let me tell you, this last decade there's been a lot of tough things that I've gone through. I just mean like out of your comfort zone resilient. Did I ever think in a million years that I would be living in a vehicle? Oh, nay. Like that was not, I didn't even know this was a thing, honestly. When I found out, after I started living in my vehicle and was on YouTube, I was floored at the amount of people doing this. I was like, what? This is actually like really a thing? It's a thing. Any hoodles, I was shocked. When I talk about resilience, I'm talking about like when things break, when the weather gets really, really bad, whether it's like a massive snowstorm, a rainstorm, hot summer days, and you're in the vehicle. I'm talking about when Bobby all of a sudden has a new noise that I'm unfamiliar with. I'm like, And nowadays, when stuff happens, I'm like, okay, let's figure this out and start a plan. The old me would have probably panicked a lot. I would have been stressed out beyond stressed. And if you didn't know, I overanalyze. Okay, I used to overanalyze. I would probably sit there and overanalyze a situation for about like 2 weeks. I don't do that anymore. I just acknowledge the problem. I try to find a solution, and we just go from there. Another thing I can say about van life, for me, it humbled me pretty darn fast. Now listen, when I was in sticks and bricks and I spilt some water, big deal. You go get some paper towel, a mop, whatever, you clean it up. Now, if I spill water in my van, my entire world is wet. When I get up in the morning and it's really, really cold and I'm crouched over because I cannot stand in my minivan and I'm trying to get dressed, that's humbling. At 5 o'clock in the morning when I have to, because, you know, I'm older, we have those bladder situations, and I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and use my portable potty to pee. Listen, and traffic's going by, that's humbling. Going to the rec center and having your daily showers, that's humbling. It doesn't bother me anymore. I've kind of made the whole humility thing into like this fun game. I don't take those things or myself very serious anymore. It just is what it is. Another thing, when I first started van life, it would really bother me when someone I met, like when I met someone new that didn't know me or my lifestyle, would ask me where I lived. And I'd be like, oh, just around the area. Oh, what street do you live on? And that always used to bother me so much. I'm like, how do I explain that I don't really live anywhere? I can live wherever I want. Now I just like, oh, kind of over here, over there. It doesn't bother me at all anymore. And if people are curious, I don't feel like a circus sideshow anymore. I talk to them and I explain where and what and how I'm doing what I'm doing. No problem anymore. In all honesty, I can't take myself that serious when I'm in the middle of a parking lot brushing my teeth on a daily basis. I mean, there's that. Because everything can seem so chaotic and all over the place, the tiny things feel so amazing. Like a hot shower, a quiet night when nobody drives by and their subwoofer is going off and it absolutely rattles my soul. A warm sleeping bag. Man, a warm sleeping bag, that's top-notch love story right there. And a quiet, empty parking spot. Van life has turned me into a person that really appreciates the small things. It's not perfect. Every once in a while, I have weeks that everything goes wrong. The shower is super cold. The weather is really nasty. A parking spot is like a scavenger hunt. And my mood, sometimes it feels like it's just barely holding on with dental floss. But you know what? I always get through it. And it's fine. I mean, sometimes I have to talk to myself like I'm a toddler. Okay, Chris, we've got this. We're doing great. We can do the hard things, Chris. And before I know it, the week is over and we're on to something new. What has van life revealed about me? I'm adaptable. Turns out, who would have thunk? I can also problem solve. Not everything, but most things. With my battery, if you didn't know, I used to have a house battery that was hooked up to a DC to DC charger. I just really had no desire or whatever to deal with all that. So I got rid of it all and I just went and got a Jackery. Much easier than trying to learn electrical and wiring, especially since I didn't have an interest or a passion about that. So I can problem solve most times. Another really big thing I've learned is I don't need a lot to be happy. I was always chasing things to make me happy. Whether it was hobbies, the latest look, the latest trend, all that kind of stuff. It was just a Band-Aid. It never really made me happy. I was just trying to fill that void. When you live a very minimalistic lifestyle, you have to learn that your happiness comes from like the smallest of things. And honestly, van life and my faith, I think combined made me realize that it's not all that stuff out there that makes me happy. It's what's right in here. So I realized that stuff doesn't make me happy. So I didn't become someone else. Basically, I think I just uncovered all my little quirks and strengths and small things that were kind of buried and hiding underneath all that superficial stuff. And then the regrets. Do I have any regrets since moving into a vehicle 2.5 years ago? 2.5, I still can't believe that. And in all honesty, no, I have no regrets. I try to live my life with no regrets. Had I wished, like looking back, hindsight being 2020, had I maybe made some different decisions? Sure, absolutely. The biggest one was that SUV disaster. Oh my Lanta. I wish that never happened. I wish I didn't go through all that. But obviously I went through it for a reason, and it was an experience. I mean, who can say, how many people can say that they've lived in Christine? I mean, okay, maybe it wasn't Christine because the vehicle wasn't going around offing people, but it surely felt like it was alive at times. Anyway, and another thing that, looking back on, I wish I never invested all that money into the lithium battery. I wish I had just got a Jackery or a Blue Eddy or something right from the get-go. But like I said, it's not a regret, because I did learn some valuable things. I learned how to put wiring together. I learned a lot from that. Did it end up working out at the end? No, but it was still some lessons learned. So even though I wish I had made some different decisions, and my plan on being this adventurous, traveling, sunset chasing person didn't happen, I have no regrets. And the biggest takeaway, which I'm going to talk in another video, I'm going to update you on my financial situation. That in itself, zero regrets, because I am so close to being 100% debt free, but that's a whole other video. So after 2.5 years of living in a vehicle, this is my takeaway. I am way more humble than I ever have been. Absolutely so much more grateful than I ever have been in my past. Maybe one day I'll talk about the kind of person I used to be, but she wasn't nice. She wasn't a good person. And now I am so grateful for the small things in life. I am so grateful for, I could make a whole series of everything that I'm so grateful for. So that's been a big one. Besides the resilient is the gratitude and how grateful I am. That's a big one. And nowadays, after 2.5 years, I am way more easily entertained than I ever have in my entire life. I would always be looking for something to entertain me, like I said, to fill that void. I could literally sit here for 2 hours watching the rain and have no problem with it, because like I said, I'm seeing the beauty, the trees, the leaves moving with the wind. And 4 or 5 years ago, I would have gone out of my bloomin' mind if I sat in a parking lot watching the weather or the ocean. Literally. I have no problem just quietly reading a book. I can really entertain myself. There are days, don't get me wrong, that I do feel a little on edge or a little restless or whatever, a little bored. But I can easily snap out of that now. Go for a walk, or, wander around Rona if it's raining too bad, or Walmart. Days go by okay. The days go by okay. So van life didn't make me perfect, but it made me more me. I'm messy, I'm quirky, I'm very practical now, and I'm a lot tougher than I thought I would be. So while I did not go out seeking van life found me, and I am so grateful for that, because my life, me, has absolutely changed, and I am so thankful for that. I also need to mention that it's not just van life. It's van life plus my faith. I'm like a night and day version of myself. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you on this pretty chilly, rainy, windy day. And I hope you're doing well, staying safe. And don't forget, go make someone smile today. Bye.